Okay, can you just start off if you want to give me your names and when and where you were born?
My name is Ranjan Datta. I born in Bangladesh in 1977.
My name is Datta, and I was born in New Jersey in the United States at 2008.
My name is Prathona Datta. I was born in New York in the United States, and I was born in 2007.
My name is Jebunessa Chapola. I born in Bangladesh in 1978. And we came here as a newcomer immigrant in 2010.
And this is Christine Fiddler, and she was born in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
And she is 19 months old, baby.
So before we coming to Saskatoon, we have been living in Norway. We met actually in Norway as an international student for 2 years. Then we moved to USA for our second master's. And we moved in Canada in 2009 as an immigrant. We live in Toronto for 6 months. Then we moved in Saskatoon for our higher study.
And how long have you been here?
We living in TD6 territory, Saskatoon, almost 10 years this year. And we became citizen in 2005. So we have been living quite a long time in Saskatoon.
2015 we became citizen.
Yeah.
And with recently the COVID-19 came about, like it hit Canada, and a lot of people have been self-isolating, and it's brought a lot of change. So do you remember when what you thought when you first heard about the coronavirus?
I first thought when I heard about the coronavirus, it was like, oh, that's okay because it's not in our city yet and it doesn't matter. And I was really excited about quarantine because there's going to be no school, but now I want to go back to school.
Yeah.
The same as for me as well, because when we heard it's happening in China, it may not come here. So we were not that much scared. And when it came, we were not prepared as an immigrant. And in immigrant, it is even difficult to understand because we didn't face any similar kind of difficulty, at least in Canada. But however, when we were back home, we had similar kind of disaster, not exactly virus, but disaster like flooding we have every day, and we have cyclone, everything damaged, and we have many similar issues. So we, as from my own family, we have been experienced, and that's why it was very helpful when we were thinking to self-quarantine, because during the flooding we had to just sit in one of the kind of bed like this, 4 or 5 people for 3 months. So absolutely self-isolating from the other community people, so we didn't have any opportunity. So when we had many difficulties, we said, well, we have experience, so we can use those experience to overcoming these challenges.
Yeah, when I heard about corona, I started to Google the history of corona. What is this and what does pandemic mean? Honestly, we heard about epidemic, but I was not familiar with the word pandemic. So I started to learn the difference between epidemic and pandemic. And then I started to study about the previous epidemic that happened in this world, right? So I started to learn about plague and Spanish flu, and back home mostly we heard about dengue fever, malaria fever, those kind of diseases, and also small chicken pox, right, and polio. But I learned that vaccination, it is helpful to get rid of those diseases, right? But we were not sure at the beginning that how severe it is, the corona and the pandemic situation. But when everything started to be cancelled, like children came back home and their school has been stopped and university has been closed, work has been closed, then we really got worried. And also I'm still a graduate student at University of Saskatchewan. Therefore, still we live in student residence. So in that residence, students are from all over the world. So our housing is really vulnerable. I mean, when we heard that we cannot touch the elevator button, we cannot touch the same door handle, right? So since we live in a public place, it was really very, very risky and dangerous for us, because I live there with my 3 children, and it was really hard because still we need to share the same hallway with other neighbors. We need to share the same laundry room with other neighbors. So how to quarantine and how to maintain the self-distance, it was really hard to learn. It was hard to learn these new ways of life, right? So at the beginning, I was really very, very shocked, and mentally I was very upset. It took a little while to understand the current world and what's happening, and how we can protect ourselves, and how we can protect our children, and what's happening back home. Like our family relatives, all are in Bangladesh. Most of them are in Bangladesh and also other parts of the world. So we were really worried for our parents and relatives and friends and our teachers, neighbors, So
I think
yeah.
it has also other layers as a visible minority immigrant here, because we don't have relative here, we don't have close friend here, and in the same time we don't have that much financial ability that whatever we want we can do it. For example, when the corona, we heard that Saskatoon got the corona, some people, those who got coronavirus. So we were told we have to leave our apartment as soon as possible. Urgently we have to vacate. So we became very mental stress. Where we should go? This is our home. This is our house. We have no place to go, and nobody is going to give rent at this moment. So we became so scared. We even prepared, if we don't have place, maybe we have to stay in the street as a homeless with our 3 children. So it's invisible stress that we as a minority immigrant, those who don't have a relative and close friend and proper financial support in Saskatoon. So it was became another couple of layers of fear, and also once we have fear, then it become mental stress and stress, trauma, and we couldn't sleep couple of nights when we had at the very beginning. So we didn't prepare for those kind of mental stress when we came to Canada.
Yeah, and living with constant fear, how does it feel? We started to feel that, and it was so draining. And as a mother and as a father, I can see his situation, and he has seen my situation, and we tried to support each other. It was hard.
And in one time I was feeling so guilty for our small children, because we shouldn't bring that children at this time, at this around. I was feeling so guilty. If we die, it's okay, but what happened if she dies? If what happened, we have to all stay as a homeless. What will happen to her? So those kind of uncertainty, even though it's not happening maybe, but it's coming to our mind, because since we don't have a relative and the local community support during this social isolation time.
Yeah, I still can remember those sleepless nights, and what he said, honestly, yes, we had that feeling that as a parent, because my little baby, she was only 15 to 16 months, right? So repeatedly he was blaming us, that as a parent, why we have brought this child in this chaotic world. And if we die now, because the death rate was so high, right? Everyone, we were hearing all constantly that people are dying. So we got really worried that if we die, who is going to take care of our children? So we were dealing with that fear too. Yeah, it was really hard. Yeah, still now. It's not that it's gone, right? Because what we are reading through media and from many research report that more pandemics might come, right? And we are destroying our current world's nature and animal life, and we are devastating people. So it's not that fear has gone. Yes, still we are dealing with that fear.
So it changed your everyday life a lot, like by the stress it added.
It's definitely very different time, very difficult time, very stressful time compared to in February, March. We had different kind of dream that time, because if you look at immigrant, we live on the dream. We dream in a sense for better life, secured life, or creating our future generation life. When pandemic came, it's kind of suddenly collapsed all the dreams, and we have to kind of not making the dreams for a long time. We have to make a dream, okay, for the next day, today, next day, or next week. So what will happen? How we are going to, what if happen this? How we are going to cope with this situation? So many kinds of critical situation, it came to our mind. In the same time, we are bringing the kind of coping strategy, how to cope with this. So it's kind of continuously a mental struggle. And even yesterday, we were thinking, as I said, one of my my nephew, he was here. He had serious mental stress, serious. So we didn't know where to go, whom to talk, with whom we should discuss. So we were talking each other. We didn't know there is even the mobile health clinic or mental health clinic support. So it's many issues are there.
Maybe we'll stop it for a while.